What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. I am doing my announcement video on what my healer is going to be for season 2, what I have chosen as my healer main for season 2. If you've been around this channel for a while now, you'll know that every season I try to pick a healer main that I'm going to play and then a DPS main that I'm going to play. I still have not decided on my DPS, but I do know what healer I'm going to play. I was initially going to do this video where like I showed you all the other healers and like why I might not want to be interested in them, and then eventually reveal like what my pick was going to be. But what I'm just going to do is just show you what my pick is going to be in this video and explain why I'm excited to play this healer. And it's of course going to be Holy Paladin. Yo, I really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe on the video. I gotta get some coffee. Bye. There's a lot of really good reasons why I'm thinking about playing Holy Paladin, and we'll just start with the first thing, which is that I find it really fun. I find it just actually really fun, especially to play melee healers. I think I've had the most fun in this game on my Mistweaver Monk, and then now on my Holy Paladin. And I've played, you know, all the healers on the PTR now, especially. I've played them all. I've tried them all out. And on live right now, I'm pushing keys with my Holy Paladin. I'm really enjoying it. There's a lot of reasons that I enjoy it. I like the playstyle of Holy Paladin, kind of that burst healing. I love the way that Beacon plays with your entire team, where you're single target triaging one person and it splashes that to everybody else. I just love that kind of healing profile. I love being able to just deck somebody with one wog and just wog them for like 4 million health. Or, you know, what might end up happening in season 2, your Holy Shock is going to start to get really powerful as well, and just smacking somebody for like a 3 or 4 mil Holy Shock. It just feels really good to me to move those health bars really far with like one global. I just kind of love that playstyle. And then of course pushing all that healing into your beacons is really fun as well. So first and foremost, I just absolutely enjoy Holy Paladin. I love both of the hero trees. Primarily right now we're using Lightsmith, of course. We're really not even really using Herald of the Sun at all. I've tried it in a lot of the different keys and it's actually not that bad. What I'm going to talk about in a minute is that there are some pretty cool buffs that are coming, and I think they're going to make Herald of the Sun actually a really relevant hero tree. So let's look at those buffs right now. Bring this in. So on January 15th on the PTR, we had these buffs here. There are some nerfs as well, so keep that in mind. I'm going to talk about this and we'll talk about the context of that here. So Commanding Light now increases the healing transfer from Beacon by 5%. It was 10. So we're losing 5% of our AoE Beacon of Virtue healing, which is not nothing. That's a serious blow. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I still think AoE healing is fine. I've been doing it on the PTR as a Holy Paladin in like plus 10 keys, and it feels completely fine. Obviously, once we climb to the higher keys, once it becomes live, we'll see. But so far, in my experience, this is a completely fine. It's not a problem at all. Your healing is still good in AoE. Truth Prevails is going down a little bit. That's the extra proc of healing that Judgment would give you if it was like overhealing, and then it would transfer that overhealing to somebody else. It's a good talent, but it's not like, again, this ends up equaling like 2% of your overall healing, maybe over the course of a key, maybe 3% tops. It's more like 2 to 2.5% of your healing. So that going down by 20% to me only means that it's going down by like, it's going to go from 2% down to 1.8% or 1.7%, something like that, right? Which is not that big of a deal. So I don't think it's Greater Judgments Absorb down by 25%. This is a bit bigger of a deal. Greater Judgment right now tends to be about, I would say 5% of your overall healing. So it's going to go down by basically 1%. It's going to go down to 4% of your overall healing, maybe 3.8%, right? So that's a bit more of a blow, but again, not the end of the world in my opinion. Here's the really big buffs coming in here. Holy Prism healing up by 20%. Holy Shock damage up by 100%. Holy Shock healing up by 40%. I've talked about this in another video, but I'm just going to highlight them again. Light of Dawn healing up by 15%. There's also some Holy Light stuff. I don't care about that at all. I'm just interested in like the melee playstyle. And this core right here, I think is going to unlock Herald of the Sun for a lot of people, because Herald of the Sun has a lot more synergy with Holy Shock, right? You've got Second Sunrise. You've got Sunseer, you've got extra crit from Luminosity, you've got Blessing of Anchi, which makes it's so disgusting. You can have Holy Shocks hit for like 5-6 million healing. I was just testing it on the dummies right here a second ago, and I think I had a Holy Shock hit for 3.3 million. A normal Holy Shock So imagine if that had crit, it would have been 6 million, right? More than 6 million, actually. So you can start to see where these buffs are going to really start to take hold, and I think potentially make Herald of the Sun a very, very, very good tree. We're going to see. But those are the buffs coming in on that day, and then we got even more buffs on January 28th. The PTR patch, we had Word of Glory healing up by 15%, Light of Dawn healing up by another 12%. Yes, they nerfed Hammer and Anvil healing. We already knew that. So again, this is why I'm thinking that Holy Paladin could shift more towards Herald of the Sun, because there's been no nerfs to Herald of the Sun. So in total, Light of Dawn went up by 12% and 15%, so 27% increased healing on Light of Dawn. That's a big deal. Again, second sunrise for Herald of the Sun lets Light of Dawn have a chance to cast a second time. So you can get extra healing there, which is really, really good. Okay, so big buffs coming in here for Holy Paladin. There are some nerfs, of course, but I think the bigger thing to look at is the buffs that are coming in. They are bigger and better than the nerfs are. I think the nerfs are not really going to affect us that much at all, especially these two. So that's one reason why I'm very excited about Holy Paladin as well, because the buffs it has received so far have been substantial and great and potentially build enabling. Again, let's get to those new builds here. I just want to highlight these talents. The combo that you're looking at here is getting a Blessing of Anshi proc, right? Which is going to make your next Holy Shock hit like an absolute bus. If it crits, then of course it's going to do even more. It's going to do double the healing. And then if it crits as well, it's going to put a Sunseer. Sunseer is still a pretty bad talent. I wish they would buff this talent. Then you have the chance for it to cast again, which is good. It will generate additional holy power, which is really great. There's just awesome synergy there. You can take Glorious Dawn, Light of the Martyr, and Bestow Light to buff your Holy Shock healing even more. You get more Holy Shock crit with Divine Glimpse. So, and then they've also buffed Light's Conviction. If you use Holy Shock offensively, then you can start to get some of the mana cost back as well, which will tie into our tier set bonus. So Divine Toll is getting its cooldown reduced. This is the third reason why I'm very, very excited to play Holy Paladin, is because Divine Toll is actually going to get cooldown reduction, which again, you could use offensively to potentially get some of your mana back from Light's Conviction, and it's going to do 100% more damage. Holy Shock will. So we're talking about Divine Tolls just smacking enemies. What if the Holy Shock crits and it's doing double damage now? Like, that could be really crazy. There's some fantastic combos going on here. Excuse me, let me just go down here. And I truly believe that the damage you could start to pull off could be really, really, really good. So we'll throw a Judgment here, getting a Blessing of Anshi proc right away. Look at that. And then we'll go Divine Toll. Like, the damage you can do just from Holy Shocking basically is going to be absolutely insane, I think. I didn't even do the combo properly. Get my Dawn Lights going. I think you could start to see some nutty damage coming from Holy Paladin, which is fantastic. That's something that they've been lacking for a long time, and I think it's going to be exceptional depending on kind of the procs that you're getting in that stuff. So we can see, look at your Holy Shock damage here. Like, Holy Shock ends up becoming your highest damage, even above Shield of the Righteous, which is pretty crazy. I had a Holy Shock do 2.2 million damage, right? So, and then you can see my Divine Toll is already back. Like, that was like 30 seconds or something. It was back already. So my third big reason why I'm very excited for Holy Paladin is the tier set bonus. I think it's way more interesting than any of the other tier set bonuses, except the only other one that's maybe close to being interesting is the Preservation Evoker one, which gives you cooldown reduction on Verdant Embrace, which is very cool. This is the only tier set bonus amongst all the healers that has like cooldown reduction on an ability, which to me is really exciting and interesting and actually potentially alters your gameplay. Most of the other healer tier set bonuses, like the 4-piece bonus, which you think should be the interesting one, they're all really boring. Like the Resto Shaman one's like, you put a healing rain down and it puts insurance on somebody, and then when your insurance is consumed, your next ability does more healing. It's like, okay, that is super turbo boring in my opinion. The Mistweaver one, it just applies insurance all the time when you press Renewing Mist. That's kind of all it's doing, which is fine from a healing perspective. That's great. I just like something that alters my gameplay a little bit, has a little bit of a tweak to it, and the Holy Paladin tier set bonus does just that. Having more Divine Tolls, again, our Holy Shocks are doing more healing and more damage. Divine Toll casts Holy Shock. We're doing 40% more healing with our Holy Shocks and 100% more damage with our Holy Shock. So getting more divine tolls is more holy shocks, which is more damage, more healing, and more holy power generation. I think it's going to fuel the entire build, and I really truly believe there is a chance that we're going to see Herald of the Sun make its glorious return to the scene if we can sort of find a way to min-max these holy shocks. And if you build your talent tree a certain way, I think you can do that. So those are all the reasons why I am very excited to play Holy Paladin in Season 2. I'm excited for both Mythic Plus and Raid, and I'm going to be pushing really, really hard at the beginning of Season 2 especially to try and get into those bigger groups early on in the season. So if you're interested in watching this kind of gameplay, stay tuned for Season 2. I'm going to be pushing Holy Paladin. I'm going to be trying out both builds. I'm going to be trying out the nerfed Lightsmith build. I'm going to see how good it is, how bad it potentially is. We're going to try out potentially the buffed Herald of the Sun build and see if that sort of is better, if it can supplant Lightsmith as being the better tree. So stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. But these are all the reasons why I'm very, very excited for Holy Paladin Season 2. I love playing it. It's getting buffs. There's potentially new builds with the hero trees. And the tier set bonus is incredibly interesting and fun and sort of, you know, defining in terms of your build potentially. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about that. That's what I'm going to be doing as my healer main in Season 2 under mine. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see you guys in there. And thank you so much for watching. Love y'all. I'll see you in the next one.